Okay, so this nasty tank right here held my baby goldfish, and about 3 weeks ago I put them in the pond, and I'll be real honest, I haven't touched the tank since. There are some really healthy plants in here that have propagated, that I've taken a lot of them out a couple minutes ago, and I'll show them to you. But right now I'm cleaning out all of the healthy plants. I'm getting rid of any of the non-healthy plants. I'm going to clean the tank and reset it up so that I can make it a community tank for tropical fish, and that's what we're doing. Here are some of the healthier plants that had grown over time, and I will be putting them back into the tank after I clean it up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to turn off my filter and off my air bubblers and all of that good stuff. I'm going to be replacing the filter media, the sponges, and some of the, like, I don't know, the activated carbon and stuff like that. But I will not be replacing the biomedia, only because it's not really that old. And even though the tank is covered in algae, the water itself is not terrible, and I don't want to cause the entire thing to recycle because I took all the media out. So I'm not going to leave, I'm going to leave all the biomedia alone. I probably will just replace the sponges. I'm also going to take the intake and the, like the plastic valves that go in for the intake and the outtake. And I'm going to be cleaning those because they're covered in algae. I'm going to do that in a bleach solution, which I will show you how I do that and the ratio that I use to do that. You definitely want to make sure that you don't have any kind of bleach at all left over when you put that stuff back into your tank. So let's do it. So I run a Fluval Fx4 on this tank. This is a 75-gallon aquarium, and that filter does great. It actually didn't do too bad with goldfish. So if it can handle goldfish, it can definitely handle some tropical fish. Goldfish are some of the dirtiest fish that you can keep, and you often have to do water changes unless you have a mega huge crazy filter. So this is a great filter. I love it. I've had it for about 3 years. It's amazing as long as you clean it and maintenance it, and you clean out your propellers and you just make sure that it's functioning well. It actually has been a great filter. I absolutely love it. So here's how we take care of that. All right, so now I'm disconnecting that over there and this in this corner. And they connect on with, the hoses connect on with these little pieces right here. And I'm gonna take these and put them in the sink. So for this, you're actually just going to use regular bleach. You don't want the bleach that's concentrated. You just want regular bleach. And you're going to do 1 part bleach to 9 parts of water. So if I do a cup of bleach, I'm going to do 9 cups of water is basically what you're doing. All right, so let's fill this up. We're going to use this, makes it easy to measure. So I'm going to disconnect my hoses and I'm going to clean them out, okay? But before you disconnect your hoses, you need to make sure that your valves are turned off. If you take these hoses out and these valves aren't turned off, water is going to go everywhere. So we want to cut the valves. We want to turn them off before we move these hoses out. And you can see, it's hard to see here, but if you look on here, there's lines that tells you when it's open all the way and when it's closed. And when you turn it this way, they're closed. And now we can disconnect them. You're also going to want to have a towel around when you do this, because oftentimes when you pull this up, water will still come out here. And when you pull your hoses off, make sure you keep the opening at the top up here in the upright position. If you turn it upside down, the water will come out. I normally will wrap a towel around this, and I have a hard time with these. They're old and it's hard to get them undone. There's a button on the side that you push. gonna take these out back because it's raining and I don't want to do this. Don't want to take you guys out back with me. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the hose off just like this. And you're gonna want to carry these to wherever you're gonna clean them. And when you get it outside or wherever, you undo this, you turn this nozzle and all the water will come rushing out, and then you can rinse out the hose. And you would be surprised how funky these get. Okay, so now I'm going to clean the algae out of the tank. I'm gonna do my filter cleaning last, and the reason for that is I want to not expose my biofilter, my bioballs, to air any longer than necessary. So to do the filter cleaning, you're gonna have to empty all the water out of the canister filter, and you just wanna do that as quickly as possible. So in an effort to preserve my good bacteria and all of that, I'm gonna let it sit in the water in the filter for about 30 minutes or however long it takes me to clean the tank out. I'm gonna do about a 50% water change. I'm gonna get all the water put back in, put everything back the way I want, clean the filter, and then let it all start to run. I'm probably gonna run it for at least a week or so before I even add any fish. And the reason is, even though this is an established aquarium and the levels are not terrible, I wanna make sure that it's perfect before I put any new fish in, so I don't wanna stress them out unnecessarily. And I'm sure that the nitrites and stuff are a little bit off on this aquarium at the moment. So we're working on getting it all set up perfectly so that we can add new fish and have them stay healthy and happy. Let's do it. All right, so I'm just using a regular kitchen sponge. It has never been used before. It doesn't have any chemicals on it. It's just a plain, boring sponge. You can get these specifically for aquariums, but I'm out of mine. So. Okay, so now that I've destroyed the tank and made it really green, I'm gonna take out most of the water. Probably, I'm probably gonna go down to about here, and then I'm gonna refill it, and I'm just gonna patiently wait for it to get back to where it should be before I put fish in. I've had fish for a long time, so I'm okay being patient and waiting. I know it's really hard because people want to just set up their tanks, and I have been waiting to do this community tank for so long. I waited so long for my little goldfish to get big enough to put them in the pond, and so I can wait a couple more weeks. So let's clean out this mess. Okay, so I have taken a good portion of the water out. I'm gonna put the water back in now and then do the filter. Okay, so before you do anything with your filter, you wanna drain this. So this, just take this off, if this is the filter you have. And then, ooh, nasty. All right, we're just gonna drain that. And we're gonna let most of the water run out of that into, like, I'm using a bucket. All right, so when you open up your filter, you want to unscrew these like across from each other, so not next to each other, like catty corner, diagonal, whatever you call it. And just want to loosen these all the way around. All right, and then you're going to want to take off your top. That actually doesn't look as bad as I expected it to look, so that's good. We're gonna rinse out these. I'm actually gonna probably replace all of these, and then rinse everything out, put it back together, and then put it back together over there and start it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna, because I'm not keeping these, I'm just gonna take these out. Oh, it's nasty. There's all the dirt. And I'm good. So I kept some of the tank water so I could put like this stuff in it. Because this is going to want to sit in there while you clean. And these are the same way. So I'm just going to put these in here for now. Alright. Because I'm inside, I'm going to take this like this. And we're going to do the same thing with this. This pad, we're going to throw this out. This is gross. I'm throwing all these out. Okay, so it's disgusting in here, which is the way it probably should be. I haven't cleaned it in a little bit, so it is gross, and that tank was really dirty. I'm gonna take this whole thing outside and clean it off. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna take this piece off and my propeller, and I'm gonna clean it. I don't do this at every cleaning, but if you don't do it periodically, you will be sorry. No, it just helps keep everything running smoothly. So you're going to take off your propeller pin and your actual propeller and clean inside of here gently. There's a pin in here, so you don't want to mess this up by being rough, and then clean these off and put them back together. So it just fits right back on the way that you took it off. Okay, so now I'm going to put my pads and stuff back in. I'm replacing a lot of my stuff because it's old. This is my polishing pad, or it's the, yeah, it's the polishing pad. It goes on the bottom. It's the first layer. My water comes up through the bottom, so I put this at the bottom. A lot of people put it at the bottom. Some people don't. I am going to dip it in the old filter water because that's what they recommend that you do. I'm replacing these, so I'm going to wet these, and they're going to go in. These are brand new, so they're always a little tough when they're new. And I don't have any, let's see, I'm going to be using a nitrite pad because I don't have the foam. So these are Fluval nitrite pads. They take any nitrates out of the water. We're going to rinse, you're supposed to rinse it off, so just wet it, like get some of the dust off. That's going to go on top of here. These are my new bio balls, so I don't want to use those, but I will use these. I will put this here. All right, now we're going to put on our next layer. All right, I'm gonna put on my 2 hooks on the side. Put that back down in there. All right, I'm plugging in the filter. So the filter's hooked back up. It's actually getting ready to start. It starts after a minute, so the water will start flowing. I'm gonna put all the plants back. I'm gonna put in some stability into the water, and I already put in prime, which is that takes all the chlorine. I don't have chlorine in my water because I have a well, but I do have like heavy metals. So here we go. We're gonna put it back together. Okay, so I have the filter hooked back up, all the plants are put back in. I went to eat and came back, and it looks like this. So clearly the filter is working and it's cleaned out, which makes me very excited. I cannot believe it's that clear that quickly. It's been like, it has not been that long. I'm gonna get a heater to put in here and then continue to test the water until it comes up the way that it should for nitrites, ammonia, all of that. And then we'll put in our fish. Still got a lot of particles floating, but eventually they will get sucked up by the filter.